I got up about 5 a.m. My mom got up a little bit earlier than I did. We had to repack everything because we did a huge load of laundry yesterday and we're officially on the road. We've been hiking for almost 3 hours, but our last like 10-15 minutes has been much more wilderness. It feels like when you hike through state park or a national park or something, but we stopped a few minutes early. We were gonna stop at 9 and eat. We stopped a few minutes early because I found a nice spot where we can see the river, so I figured it was a nice view. Here's my tree stump and here's the view. The 40 minutes after we stopped and ate in the forest was just straight uphill. It was so steep. So we stopped at a church like halfway up the hill, maybe more, and we got our stamp, and then we stopped and we got a croissant and an iced tea at a little place. And now we're headed back up the hill. I think we've done the majority of it though, so we'll see. We're in the middle of the woods and we have reached a fork in the road with no clear trail markers, nothing that looks like we're headed towards the Camino. So my mom and I are each walking 3 minutes down one of the paths to see if we see anything, any markers. Another option is that we messed up somewhere back there, but we only took the one road up, so I don't know. But we don't want to get lost in the woods, that would be bad. Okay, update. After walking down my trail, I didn't see any signs, and it's pretty overgrown. I don't see signs of people walking through here. So I'm hoping my mom had better luck and her path either had signs or looked like it was a well-traveled route. It was by far our worst day of walking. I actually thought we were gonna quit the Camino. It's so terrible. So I don't really have a ton of videos for the day, and I'll do a breakdown at some point, but everything that went wrong went really, really wrong. After like 9 hours of sleep, I woke up at 7 and we've started our day. We're still not 100% sure what it looks like though, so we'll see. First plan of the day is our breakfast of champions, which is just leftovers from last night. So it sounds like we're maybe not moving today. My mom has a huge blister on her foot and I don't even think she can put her tennis shoes on. And I don't know how much of the hike we can do in her sandals. So I think we're gonna stay put for a day. I've just been reading for the last few hours and I've almost finished my book. So things are getting really good. I think that's about it. We'll probably find a place for breakfast at some point and see what the rest of the day holds. We both sat and worked and now we're headed to our next food place. we are headed on the road. I think this is the earliest start we've had so far. The hardest part of the day is always getting started because it's sometimes really difficult to figure out where to hop on the Camino at. And especially because where we started from Porto, there were like no markers for the first 4 miles. So we're just like, oh, no markers. Yeah, I guess that's normal, whatever. And it's not. You're supposed to be seeing markers basically every 50 feet. So we kind of had to pit stop for about 10 minutes, and my mom has a huge blister, so she stayed put and I wandered all around, but I found us the next 2 areas. We found a place for breakfast. We agreed that the first place that we saw that was open, we would just go get breakfast at, because we heard our path today is a lot more rural, so we're worried about getting food and water. So I think it's open, but we'll see. We were about to stop and sit on a shaded bench because we were like, okay, we've been walking for like an hour, time for us to pop a squat, maybe an hour and a half. But just as we were gonna sit there, my mom saw a sign for a little cafe where we can get a Camino stamp, so we're headed there. Okay, we split this little chocolate pastry. We're headed through another forest path, which is our favorite. It's the most beautiful to walk through, and it's shady, which is nice, but we're determined not to get lost this time. We were walking through the wilderness and we came across the cutest cafe. My mom said it literally feels like the Garden of Eden, but it's so coquette, and there are these adorable placemats, and the tablecloths are so cute, and there are 2 little waterfalls, and it feels like a garden party. It literally feels like a garden party. So I'm never leaving, and it's all just travelers here, and I feel like we're living in the height of luxury. I'm like, okay. We had some yogurt and granola at that adorable little cafe, and we talked to a family from Minnesota. It was the parents and then their 2 kids that are walking the Camino. And we were like, wow, okay, y'all are troopers. My mom's blister popped, so we're sitting under a bridge in the shade doing impromptu cleansing. We stopped by the prettiest church I've ever seen with all these flowers, and we're gonna split an ice cream, so that's nice, and it's lovely in the shade, so. We are absolutely dying, but we have almost made it. I am about ready to collapse either in a bed or on the floor. We started the day with a speedboat that took us from Portugal to Spain. So we walked to the very northern tip of Portugal, and then we just had a little bit of water to cross. The ride itself took like 10 minutes, and the guy that was driving the boat was so fun. He was like weaving us in and out and going fast, and like he had us like catching waves of other boats. So it was a super fun ride. So it only took about 10 minutes, but because there's an hour time difference between Spain and Portugal, we arrived and now it's in the 8 a.m.s at some point. So we lost an hour of time. We're gonna see what the walk looks like today. We just ate at our first cafe in Spain. We decided to stop at this little restaurant by the water because yesterday we got a lot of pastries and we stopped a lot, but we didn't really get any protein. So my mom ordered salmon and I ordered chicken, and we're hoping it'll fuel us up. We have arrived, but we're not sure how to check in, so we'll see. So to recap what you saw in that video, day 4 was one of our longest days. I think it was our 3rd longest day. And it started out okay, but it was also really hot. I think it got to like upper 80s, maybe lower 90s. And it was our first day doing some forest stuff, so we moved away from the coast. And at first we really enjoyed it, but there were a ton of hills and it was so hot. And then at some point we were going up this really steep hill and we were looking at our feet. We weren't looking at any turnoffs or anything, so we missed a turnoff. And then we got lost in the Portuguese forest for like, I don't know, kind of a while. And it wasn't until we reached that fork in the road that we were like, this isn't right. And then this nice man kind of pointed us in the right direction, who was another pilgrim. So we walked with him for a while. But that's when my mom got all her blisters and I was so dehydrated and out of water. So I don't think I have much footage from the end of that day because I was kind of out of my mind. We stayed in a converted convent, which actually was really cool. It was a converted Carmelite convent. We had Berlin balls that night, which were delicious. Best thing I've had since I ate a pastel de nata. We decided to take a rest day on day 5 because day 4 was so brutal. We basically sat at one cafe and ate, and then sat at another cafe and ate. And I worked, and my mom really nicely booked everything out for us. We decided we weren't gonna race to get places. We just wanted to have all of our accommodations booked out. So I think it was just a pretty chill day, but I did enjoy the place we stayed that night. I think I did kind of a lot of work that day. Day 6, we were back on the road. That day was much better. It wasn't as hot, but it was another long day. I think it was almost 17 miles. We walked, we stopped for food. It was a really cute cafe that had only been open 3 weeks. And then we walked, we stopped for some more food, we walked, we found that little garden area that we liked. That was the day that we didn't get in until like 5 or 6 p.m. So it was kind of late, but we finished our long day, which we were worried about. Day number 7, we started the morning, we were taking a boat into Spain. There was an hour time change, so we lost an hour. I think that was a pretty chill day. We basically just walked the whole time. I think maybe that's when like my knees started bothering me. My mom's blister, I think, popped on day 6, and I think maybe my blister popped on day 7. So day 4, we got some blisters. Days 6 and 7, we popped some blisters.